rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart is listed officially as the second quarterback on the depth chart. There's been a lot of speculation on would he potentially leapfrog Jameis Winston, and apparently he has.
Well,
Now,
whoa. Just want to put this clear out there. He did a little bit of a leapfrog, but Winston did a crab leg and rolled right under Dart.
oh God. Here's my thing on that, guys. You can do whatever you want in the depth chart. That is not set in stone. That is not a guarantee of anything. Let's say hypothetically, and I almost don't want to say this. I don't want to put this out there in the world. Let's say hypothetically, in the second quarter of the game on Sunday, Russell Wilson gets hit and he gets hurt and he's out of the game. That doesn't mean Daboll has to put Jaxson Dart in. If anything, they're just trying to give him a little reward for the fact that he played so well in preseason. The plan is still the plan. You don't put Dart in until he's ready. So,
Drew, you spin the fact right there. It's what that is an acknowledgement and a kudos, and it's hey to the fans, look at our future. Is what that is. It is like Russ is our guy. We know he's Asian, but he's the guy that's in the balance. Winston's definitely our plan of mediating between our future. Dart is our future. That's why he's our number 2. We want to see him play, but not quite yet.
But again, we're making assumptions because we kind of have to. They're not going to tell us what it is. Because here's my other thing, is that Jaxson Dart, okay, hypothetically, they may think he's more ready than we thought. So that very well may be what happens. And also, I see you, Deb, in the comments there pointing out as well the fact that, and she's 100% right in this, the only way that Jameis Winston can go in ahead of Jaxson Dart is if all 3 of them are on the active roster for game day. If one of them is treated as an emergency quarterback, they can only go in if the other 2 are injured. So, again, we'll have to see. That's just what it is. And I don't know, again, what their plan is on game day with that. But that's going to be something interesting to watch on Sunday. That's why they'll probably announce that kind of stuff. And if Winston is listed as a third emergency quarterback, then yeah, if Russell Wilson goes down, Dart's in. And I think that move right there is going to tell you a lot on what the confidence truly is with Jaxson Dart in this. If Jaxson Dart is the second quarterback and Winston is listed as a third string emergency quarterback, because that's the difference. Not on the active game day roster, but can come into the other 2 get injured. That tells you Brian Daboll has a lot of faith in this kid. And it's not BS. It's not smoke and mirrors. He's saying point blank, if Wilson gets out, he's in. He's our guy.
Yeah. So that being said, Deb, just so you know, like, you could always have 3 quarterbacks on your roster if you have the roster space. It just typically doesn't make sense.
Yes.
If you have out there. So if you go out there and there's 3 active quarterbacks, do you know what's going on?
Yep. Let's see here. Let me go into the comments here we have there. First off, Jay says Drew has 17-year-old t-shirts. Damn straight I have a 17-year-old Giants shirt on. This was the good days. Anybody who forgets the 2008 Giants, by the way, started 11-1. Plexico shoots himself, ends up 12-4, and out in the first round of the playoffs. That was probably the best team Eli ever had.
100%. They shot their load too early, though.
That's a totally different kind of shooting. Oh my God. Let's see here. And then Anthony says JDC, who's listed at QB2, got the Dart symbol there. Jason's QB of the future. Anthony says our boy. Jason, I'm pumped about watching him play this season. And Deb said, I think the original QB plan changed because Dart progressed faster than they thought. 100%. And I think, again, we said into the draft that he was going to need more time because he was in that Lane Kiffin offense. He had to learn kind of to read the whole field better and read defenses and the stuff that you don't necessarily need in a Lane Kiffin offense. And I think it's safe to say now that Lane Kiffin was probably holding him back.
Probably fair.
And again, we'll have to see. We haven't seen a regular season. We're going off of just what we saw in the preseason. but it's safe to say that's a good possibility there. Anthony says, I can't wait to see him rip it. Jay says, Russ
Rip it.
glue factory by week 5. He's not a Bronco anymore.
Oh, stop.
Stop it. He says, Jay says, you got to understand one pick or a few bad passes at MetLife and the Dart chance will start. 100%. But I will say this as well. He's going to throw a pick at some point, guys. Breaking news, Russell Wilson will throw a pick at some point. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's the first 2 games are away.
But you guys also got to remember, like, Dart also will throw an interception at some point. Like,
yes.
If he doesn't, then he'll be absolutely, like, being remembered in Giants history is the only quarterback that didn't throw an interception.
How crazy would it be? And listen, obviously, this is not the outcome I'm hoping for, but how crazy would it be if Russell Wilson stinks the first 2 games, the Giants start 0-2, and then Jaxson Dart starts week 3?
It goes 12-2.
I don't know about that, but I'm still saying it's gonna be crazy. Dip says, I don't know, Jay, if Russ is playing well. I don't think they pull him. Agreed. I think as long as Russ is playing well,
not even well.
If this might be for Jay, yeah, like he's just got to play not embarrassing, basically, and for
just above mediocre.
If he's playing just good, not great, good,
yeah,
and he gets pulled, then that just means right there that there is so much confidence in Jaxson Dart by Brian Daboll and the rest of this Giants team that he better be ready. Because don't start him too early if he's not there.
Don't GG
him. And then Deb says, I don't mind Russ starting a few games to make sure the O-line has their crap together. Listen,
use him as bait.
When have you ever had let's get Andrew Thomas going before we Anthony says, don't say it, Drew. I had to. It's an option. Jason says to use tire salesman with a 17-year-old t-shirt. I don't even sell tires.
Listen, he's Shane Gillis.
If Wilson is the emergency, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 100% right on that. So that's what I'm saying. Game day, we'll have to see what happens there. Jason's starting to tire of your pro Russ propaganda. I'm just pro Giants, man. Honestly, I'm not pro Russ. I'm not pro Dart. I'm pro Giants. I just want to win some goddamn games.
Yeah, way more than 3.
Let's be honest here. Rob and I will enjoy this show much more with y'all if we're winning.
100%. Listen, I don't want to go back to therapy with you guys.
Yeah,
I don't mind going to therapy with you guys. But
how does that make you feel? The Giants lost again. Deb says not Wilson, Winston. Jay says the whole thing is weird. Jameis as QB3 is crazy. He could start in this league. He could if he was on the Saints. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know of a single other place except maybe the Browns where he played last year that I would say he could be a legit starter. Unless you put him in a situation at Tennessee where you got a chance for Cam Moore to sit for a little bit, something like that. But it's not a lot of places, but there are definitely places that I could say that our quarterback 3 is better than their starter. How crazy is that? Think about that for what I just said for a minute.
The past 5 years.
Have a quarterback 3 that is better than some teams' starting quarterbacks.
For the past 5 years.
God damn.
Something that's absolutely absurd.
Yeah. Like I said, it's craziness there. Sean Jackson says, good evening, fellas. Just checked in. When I see your 2008 Giants shirt, I feel like we owe the Eagles a eternal beatdown payback for how they ended our season that year. Plex owes us to eternal. Yes. Max says week 1 is weird. Really worried about that D line coming down from New York. Yeah, I mean, I listen. First off, it's not bad. Always good to see fans of other teams in the show as well. But yeah, listen. We don't know what to expect. That's the beauty of it. We don't know what to expect. Again, Commanders added some good tackles as well this offseason. So, Go Big Blue says, okay, so we're playing the what ifs game. What if Wilson taking us to 11, 13 wins, having a great season? Do we sign another contract or still start Dart next year? That depends on how Dart looks. And I don't mean even in games, in practice. I'm telling you right now, if he looks good in practice and the Giants are confident of him next year, he's basically J.J. McCarthy and Russell Wilson and Sam Darnold. It's the same issue. You're not going to keep a 36-year-old quarterback and not try to develop your first-round pick quarterback.
It depends. It depends how cheap you get Russ. That's what it comes down to. Like, it doesn't matter how well Dart plays. Doesn't matter how well Dart plays. You have him at a cheap contract. If you can protect him and develop him to be even better than he was, looking great this year, even though he's a QB2, and you can get Russ at a very cheap deal, come to next year being a mentor again, you keep Russ.
I'm going to give
you keep him on a short leash, and you say, Russ, as soon as you start falling off, we think you start falling off, we're putting Dart in. You have to know the expectations when we sign you. That's what it's going to be. He agrees to it, you sign Russ right away. Because guess what? Russ as a QB2 is, once again, a great QB2.
Honestly, I think if that scenario happens, Russell Wilson is going to say, I'm not coming back.
He might. But if he agrees to the terms that you said,
where he could potentially start, even if it's a place he thinks he has a better chance. Like that's what it boils down to. Like, if you told that to Russell Wilson, why would Russell Wilson not go, you know what? I'm just going to go to the Saints. They got a young quarterback as well, but he's maybe not ready to start. Maybe I can start for a few more games, just like that. I can make a little more money because they need a mentor and stuff like that. Like, there's no reason for Russell Wilson to come back to that. I don't think it makes any sense for Russell Wilson to come back.
Whoa. 100% does. What are you talking about?
No.
His ego, hands down. He turns around and says, hey, guess what? I helped that kid develop.
I don't think he cares about that.
What are you talking about? Post NFL career? You see how many years he's got left? And
I'm telling you right now.
You sit there and finish. You don't tell me this guy that doesn't have an ego. He sits there and finish. Like, I helped this guy develop. If he wants to get into coaching, look at what I did with Dart over there. Oh, look what I helped to develop over here. Like, I hear what you're saying with wanting to start, but like, there's not many teams you're going to start and win at.
No,
but go back to the Giants. But if you go back to the Giants and still win, and you tell them like, you have to improve your offensive line and blah blah. You say anything, you can still put it in the contract where he goes there, and it turns into a whole
turn around,
a Kurt situation. So I think he could manipulate that in a sales pitch to Russell where he comes back and plays for us. And then if he wants to coach a job down the line, or he can go on broadcast and be like, oh,
he's going to broadcasting. That's where he's going to go. I'm telling you right now, he's going into broadcasting. That man talks too much like a politician. He is definitely going to broadcasting. There's no doubt in my mind. So that's what I'm saying. We'll see what happens. And you never know what's going to happen. Any of us can be right or wrong. That's the beauty of talking sports before things happen. But I don't see a shot in hell, barring something bad happening with Dart, that Russell Wilson is a Giant next year. Like, I think that would more stifle Dart at that point. So, and that's your goal is to develop him.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, we've talked about Dart prior to the season. Like, the longer you sit them, the more chance they have to develop.
Yeah.
So you sit them for a half a season next year.
No, we're not sitting Dart for a year and a half.
All right. Now you're talking about all those fans saying that you have to start them right away.
No, I didn't. I said,
no. I'm just saying, listen, the longer you have a chance to develop a quarterback that's sitting behind you, that's an active, that's started in the league, they typically play better overall. Like, look at Green Bay. Look at Green Bay's motto.
Like, turn them into that 5-year-old kid is still breastfeeding.
What's that?
You're starting to turn him into that 5-year-old kid is still breastfeeding.
Oh no! Stop.
I said you're turning.
You're just trying to turn him into the 3-year-old that gets beat by every parent. Whatever.
No, I'm just saying. After a year, if you can't make it, you're done. You don't need to sit for 5 years.
That's not true.
That's a project quarterback. He's not supposed
to be true.
Quarterback as a first-round pick like that. Not that much of a project.
I'm not saying he has to be that much of a project. You just want to develop him because you want to make sure you have the best product. You want to make sure you have the best product that comes out to the line. You don't want to rush your product out and not have faults in it. That's what you want to do.
You don't want to sit a project for long and then play him and realize he was crap after all that, and you could have been developing somebody else.
You still got a rookie deal. You don't win there.
You know what else I think? I think it's time to thank Anthony for the $9.99 super chat, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, man, for always supporting the show. As Jay says, you want more dancing? Of course he wants more dancing. Everybody wants more dancing. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Jay says, all the talk about defense, I can totally see teams just running down our throat. I do not disagree there at all. That's a very scary proposition. That's why the Giants have to put points on the board to force other teams to pass. Anthony says, go Big Blue. It says, go Big Blue. Do that. Press send too quick. LOL. Jay says, the season doesn't start until Dart is playing. It starts on Sunday.
The season doesn't start till Dart starts playing. I don't care.
Austin says, how do you feel about the Giants losing Tommy Cutlets? Listen, we'll miss him, but more power to him. If he's going to go to a place where he has a chance to actually potentially be even the backup quarterback as opposed to being the practice squad quarterback, then all power to him. Honestly, I root for the kid still.
100%. Come back to Clifton and go back to the diner. I'll meet you there, bud.
Jay says, Rob, that's like taking an old Dyson over a new Kirby. It makes no sense whatsoever. With that talk of vacuum cleaners, I think we're probably we got to hold the record for the content creators of any NFL show that talks most about vacuum cleaners. Like, we have to have the record for that. Probably
we probably did that in one episode.
Yeah, probably. Jay says, Rob, after this year, mark my words. H-Town, Texas. I'm assuming Houston. He says, hopefully situational play calling awareness is a consistent thing that the coaches use this season. It's desperately needed. I think, honestly, if they continue with Kafka calling the plays, which I haven't heard anything finalized, but you got to think because he did it all during the preseason, I think you're going to see a much improved play calling this year. I really do. Anthony says, I don't know about out of the league, but I think this is the last starting season. Honestly, if he can't get a starting job, I think he'll walk away. I really do. I think his ego is too big for that. And I don't even mean that's a negative thing. Like, there comes to a point where you don't want to be Willie Mays stumbling around in center field at Shea Stadium. Like, that's always the example I give because that's the one you saw more than anything else, you know? Deb says Russ is gone next year. Yep. Jay says, I think he's a competent quarterback, but nobody will want him. Listen, that's probably the nicest thing Jay has ever said about Russell Wilson.
It's very true.
He says he won't be a backup either. I agree there. Jay says, is Rob going to sing for us? Oh, we lost Rob. You suggested he should sing for us, and we officially lost him. So move over here for a minute there. Now you can see my lightsabers in the background again. Let's see. H-Town, Texas. Russ is better than anything Jones did. I don't know why everybody hates him. They should hate Joe Daboll and company for letting Quadzilla leave. Listen, I don't think it's anybody hates Russell Wilson or doesn't agree that he's not better than anything the Giants have had. Like, that's obvious. Let's be very frank on that. That is as obvious as it gets. The big issue is that there are people that just don't like him because the way he talks and everything. He comes off as fake. He comes off as like politician-esque at that point there. And to be very frank, now the fan base is so excited about Jaxson Dart, they want to see him. You know, that's what they want to see. Jay says, oh, there you go. Anthony says, Russ is winning 11 games. He isn't finishing this season. I'd agree with that kind of range. Again, depending on how he, how the season is going there. If we're in a playoff contention at that point, then maybe he sees something a little different, you know?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Anthony says,
you kidding me?
More
Playoffs?
Dancing, the better, Jay.
I just hope we can win a game.
Jay says, I want to hear Rob sing now. Listen, when Rob comes back on in a second there, I don't know what happened. We lost him there. You can ask him how much it takes in Super Chats to hear him sing. And then he says, sing like that top of the line vacuum you sell. Up, and here comes Rob. We can find out now from him. Jay wants you to sing, Rob. So I told him he'd have to ask you how much it would take in Super Chats.
Oh, that's what we're gonna have to go with tomorrow night. We'll
Depends
what you want me to sing.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh, that's a good point. What song? I would go with Macho Man by the Village People.
Nice.
That'd be a classic there for you. Jay says, sing. Oh, there we go. Sing like that top of the line vacuum. Not the vacuums. Anytime, boys. Again, man, appreciate it.
And thanks again.
He says Dart might play Sunday. Listen, it depends on how the game's going. I can't see. Oh, here we go. Jay says Elvis Presley's "Can't Help Falling in Love."
Rockets. Wait for the super chats.
You got to give it a mouth. You can't just sing it. You just blew your load there.
Listen, I have to prove to the fans out there that at least I could dance or sing a little bit.
Listen,
I'm like Drew, that looked like he broke a hip when he was trying to dance.
I said point blank that I can't dance. Okay, I'm singing.
Yeah, there's a difference between can't dance and have an aneurysm.
Like, yeah, I'm just saying this. Hey, listen, I said I can't. I said that point blank. I admitted to that. I never did. I ever say I was a good dancer?
Oh, you said you're a terrible dancer, Dan.
Yeah. Jay says you can't do worse than Drew. Sure he can. Sure he can.
Is that true? Drew, did you watch that video?
No, I don't want to watch it. Honestly, I never will. Sean says, who will be the bigger X factor versus Washington? Dex or Burns on defense, Russ or Neighbors, or Andrew Thomas on offense? Can the Giants play a rare game where they actually play well at all three phases?
Do you want the one overall or offense, defense, or in that situation? Because if we're going to go on defense here, I think the X factor comes.
Well, he did
Burns. I'm going to go with Burns on defense, and then I'm going to go with Thomas on offense because you know what you have with Sexy Dex being one of the best sacks out there.
You don't even know still 100% of Andrew Thomas is going to be there. So I'm going to say Burns because he's a freaking beast this offseason, and I'm going to say Neighbors.
Well, we know Neighbors is going to be a top flight receiver and top 5 pick out there. Neighbors is there.
I feel but he really needs to get something going with State Farm.
100% he's going to get that this year.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. The X factor is the person that's really going to step up and make a difference. So it's the person that's injured out there that you don't know how well he's going to be week 1. That's going to be your X factor because if he shows up and actually holds the pass rush to like an extra 2 seconds, if you will, or even a half second, gives you time to get out to Neighbors. It makes Russ look better. It makes Neighbors look better. Andrew Thomas, the X factor in the offense. If he's healthy.
Of him. That's not even just if he's healthy and playing. I think it's still taking some time to get back to where he was. Like I think
that's why he's the X factor.
Yeah. Jay says, how big of a super chat for Bobby to serenade Deb with the song? We'd have to ask.
Well, we don't. I was about to say, where's I don't think singer could really sing.
You know what?
I think it's just a clever name.
What?
Bobby Singer.
Bobby Skinner?
No, Singer.
No.
I'm talking about the guy that directed X-Men.
Oh, no. I think he means Bobby Skinner, not Brian.
No, I'm pretty sure he meant Robbie. He meant me.
Oh, I think about Bobby Skinner. Because he didn't call you Bobby. Remember, because he tried to get me and Bobby Skinner to do a race together, he said. So I thought he was going back to that. Why am I being dragged into this? Well, you've met Jay. I don't know how else to explain this to you. Sean Jackson says, besides Abdul, which rookie could play the biggest impact versus Washington? Who could be the Giants' unsung hero versus Washington? First off, no, it's not Jaxson Dart. Let me just be very clear on that. Yeah. It is not Jaxson Dart. I'll tell you this, guys, just based on what you see from the rest of the rookie class and what the potential is, and I don't think he's going to be an X factor. I don't think he's going to be an unsung hero. I don't think he's going to be a big impact. But I'm just saying, if I had to put money on it, it'd be Cam Scatterboo. Just because of the position he plays. If he plays good as a running back, then all of a sudden, he's going to have a big impact. It's harder to have the impact from the defensive tackle position when you're playing against the big impact in Dexter Lawrence. It's hard to play a huge impact when you're the third string tight end. It's just, it is what it is. The backup offensive lineman is usually not the unsung hero. Unless they play him if Thomas is out and, Hudson is left on the bench like he should be. So, yeah.
Bo, maybe Bo. No.
Frenchie says, I think we humble Commanders week 1. And I gotta say, I don't know if you're French, perhaps with that name or what to do, but it's reminding me very much of there's a band that goes to a lot of cons and all. Because yes, I'm that kind of nerd that goes to cons called Frenchie and the Punk, and they're actually very good. But appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. H-Town, Texas says it's a brutal schedule. No need to get Dart killed. The first 9 games alone is terrifying, even at Saints. So just let Russ run for his life. Yeah, and that's why Deb said maybe you wait to see how the offensive line does first. Let's see.
It's like you watched football before, Dad.
Anthony says we talked about this. That wasn't even dancing of the day. Anthony says, I'm going to say the defensive actor actually be Tibbs because one-on-ones he should be seeing, so he should have high production that everyone is overlooking. Yeah, no, I mean, I would definitely.
I will give you that also because look at what 40% of Tibbs' sacks against the Commanders.
That's true, but that was before they got tackles. That's part of the problem is they have really good tackles now. So I don't know. It's hard for me to get, too like hyped up for one of the edge rushers like that in this game specifically, unless they're playing over the rookie. Like if you're playing against Tunsil though, and we'll have to see where they line up Tibbs, where they line up Burns. But Burns has been just such a beast this off season. That I really think that you're seeing a step up from him. You really are. Like he's been working with Dexter Lawrence specifically, and picking his brain and what he's been doing, which is crazy because Brian Burns is definitely one of the top tier edge rushers, but you're talking the best nose tackle in all of football. So yeah. Let's see. Anthony says I was just thinking about that. Deb. Jay says, does Scamaboo even pass black? Oh my gosh. He says Keith Elias all over again. Wow. That's just rude.
Rude.
In the words of Stephanie Tanner, how rude.
Hey, cut it out.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip,
then you will love the full episodes too.
Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.